Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise, and myself, Jason, today bringing you whiskey review number 123, I believe. I've not actually said the numbers, and I'm going to probably not do numbers for a while now, but we're going to be reviewing today the Dalmore 18-year-old, which is, you can see up on screen. Dalmore 18 is going to be the middle point in our Dalmore core range reviews. I've just reviewed the 12 and the 15-year-old, and I'll actually leave a link to the playlist just up here. I'll leave a card so you can go and check out the range if you want to do a comparative analysis. Now, we're going to do the whole Dalmore expression, so following that we'll have the Cigar Malt and then the King Alexander, and then we'll conclude on the Dalmore core expressions. So Dalmore 18, I picked this up from Master of Malt along with a couple others, and it's sort of the center stage point in the Dalmore core range. Very well known all around the world. As you can tell, all the bottles have the 12-pointed stag, but they do differ in terms of coloration between each one, because all the bottles do look the same and all the liquid inside does look the same because of caramel color. But each one is different, so I'll just briefly go through them. The 12-year-old is like a reddish brown sort of box. I think it's burgundy. So that one is the 12-year-old. The 15-year-old is a greenish, like a dark green, like an army green. The blue, which is the 18, is a navy dark blue. Then you've got the Cigar Malt, which is a red. And then you've got the King Alexander, which is a black box, which sort of gives you a brief idea. So if you're looking at the shelves and you're looking at the Dalmore core range, you should know exactly which ones you're looking at. So we're going to begin my review style structure, and then we'll come to my tasting notes. So we start off with the age on this whiskey, which is an 18-year-old whiskey, bottled at an ABV of 43%, so it's a little higher than your regular 12 and 15-year-old bottled at 40. The cask selection are very similar to the 12-year-old in that it does have American White Oak ex-bourbon cask, but for 14 years. And then finally it is transferred over into a Matasalem Oloroso sherry cask for 4 years, which conclude the 18-year maturation. Now the distillery itself is a Dalmore distillery, and we will be paying them a visit, I think, in the next month or so. They are owned by the parent company, White & Mackay, and they are located in the Highlands of Scotland, just a little north of Inverness if you are driving through. Now, the price point on that bottle over there is around about £90 to £100. So that gives you a brief idea that is quite a pricey bottle for an 18-year-old expression. Now the distillery, is it exclusive? Sorry. No, it is not exclusive. It is part of the core range, so you should be able to find it. However, they do state sometimes that sometimes it's in stock, out of stock because of too much demand. So they do have pressure on the demand. Now, in terms of caramel coloring, it does contain caramel color as the whole Dalmore core range does. So you'll see that pretty much all the Dalmores look the exact same color. I think they do that for consistency, but I really don't know why it's necessary when you've got an 18-year-old whiskey. So it beats me. But anyway, let's begin by assessing the actual nose of this whiskey, so we don't do the color. So into the nose. So to begin on the nose of the Dalmore 18, this one is much more darker and richer. It's giving you distinctly, and straight away I'm picking out those notes of almost like dark dried fruits. Plums, dark plums, like those purpley plums. I'm getting prunes, a bit of raisins, but soft raisins on that one. And then it's got a character of almost like rum and raisin ice cream, which I just recently had, so it's fresh in my memory on that tasting note. Almost like a rum and raisin ice cream. A combination of fruitcake underlying it. A bit of figs. And then a bit of citrus coming through. And this is like tangerines now. Quite fresh tangerines. A bit of lime zest. And then a bit of chocolate. But it's almost like one of those, I don't know if I can say Terry's chocolate orange. I don't know if that's alright. But yeah, it's like a Terry's chocolate orange, which is basically a chocolate. It's in a circular shape with lots of slits. It's like a Terry's chocolate orange on the nose. And those prunes are coming back on the back end. Really dark, but yeah, at the same time, a lot of citrus. Let's get into the palate of this whiskey. Sláinte. Now to begin on the palate for the Dalmore 18, this is where the excitement starts in this whiskey. Not necessarily the nose, but the palate is where all the flavors now come to life. The texture for this one is along the lines of, I'd say, a medium full. It develops quite nice. It becomes syrupy on the palate. First thing I get is a nice sweet creme brulee. It works itself over the palate, and then as you sort of develop it further, you're getting sort of dark chocolate coated raisins. A bit of candied ginger now that's sort of warming up the palate, but accompanying it by a nice little sweeter aspect. I'm getting a slight coffee note, almost like an Americano coffee, but it gets creamier. I'm going to say something like a tiramisu, because it's got that sort of creamy aspect, but that coffee aspect combined into one, which I think, I like tiramisu, I'm not going to lie, so that's why I'm really enjoying that one on the palate. I'm going to have a second sip. I'm getting that citrusy characters, but I'm just needing to pinpoint exactly which ones they are. So from the second sip, instead of getting tangerines like I got on the actual nose, on the palate now I'm getting quite a rich orange. Quite really chewy, but at the same time, that burst of citrus character really coming through. And then as you hold it there on the back palate and mid palate, it develops a slight nutty aspect. This nutty character is almost like you've taken hazelnuts and you slightly toasted them, and then on top of that you've got like a walnut whip, which is like a chocolate which is inside with cream, and on the top sort of just garnished with a bit of walnut, giving that slight oiliness to it, this like nutty character. Really good, and lots to go on the palate. So we're getting to the finish, and we'll come to our conclusion on the Dalmore 18. So overall, onto the finish now for this whiskey. It does have quite a nice, interesting, medium-long finish, which is a bit different. Well, actually, it's very different from the 15 and the 12. This one now develops a lot more of those coffee characters, a mocha chocolate coffee. It sort of develops again with that orangey character, which lasts quite a while. The coffee characters are really holding themselves quite strong on the palate, almost like developing now into an espresso coffee. And it's a sort of accompanied with that sort of oily walnuts, which I found on the palate. So I'm going to give my rating, and then I'll come to my overall, I'm just going to go here, overall conclusion on this Dalmore 18-year-old. So I'm giving this one an 89 out of 100. Reason behind that, I think it's a great whiskey all in all. The flavor profile is fantastic. You're getting the orange, the coffee character, the fruity aspect, the combination of all of it coming together with a nice syrupy texture. Would rate it very highly, but the factors that pull this one down are that they use caramel color, which I just don't feel is necessary in an 18-year-old expression. And at the same time, actually in any expression, at the same time, its price point at 95 to 100 pounds, it's very expensive compared to other 18-year-old expressions, which you can pick up between 70 to 85. So it's a whole 15 pounds more than that price bracket. So I felt that was just sort of phasing me out of favouring this whiskey so much. However, if you do have £100 and you like to buy a whiskey that's quite soft and smooth, same time with these fruity aspects with a nice sort of undertone of sweetness, and at the same time accompanied with a citrus character, Dalmore 18 is great. But I do like it. I think the flavour profile is great, just don't appreciate the caramel colouring, and at the same time the price point. And at the same time, I think, does it need time in the glass? It's optional. It's one that I felt that doesn't need it. However, if you do give it, it will sort of round itself up even further. And you don't really need to add any water because it's not really pungent and it's not spicy as such. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Have you tried the Dalmore 18? What are your thoughts on it? This has been me, Mr. Bananas. If you haven't missed any of the other videos, I'll leave them over here, the 12 and the 15. And I'll also leave my subscribe button over there, which you can click to stay up to date. It's free, and you'll get YouTube videos pretty much, I think, 6 days a week. So at this point, I'm going to wrap the video at that. If you have enjoyed, drop in a like, subscribe. I've been JasonWhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next video. Sláinte.